All right. Thank you for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through all levels yoga. We will practice together for 45 minutes. So just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretch is not working for you, definitely come out, skip it, and modify. Always listen to your body. And things that you'll need for your practice today. It's really nice to have a yoga mat. You may want to have a yoga block and a yoga blanket close by. If you don't have those, no biggie. We can kind of work around those through the practice. They're just there if you need a little extra support. So let's get started down and seated. We will come into a comfortable seated position to start. And as you take seated, feel free to sit with your legs crossed. If that doesn't feel okay with your knees, you can always extend your legs out in front of you. You can, lay down on your back. So you just want to feel as comfy as possible. And feel free to sit on a block or a blanket. If we lift our hips up higher than our knees, it can take a little pressure off of the knees. And also sitting up on something helps to roll the pelvis forward a little bit, which can also help to take pressure off the knees and help to elongate the spine. So let's give ourselves some time here to start with a centering, to release the day so far, to connect with our breath and our body. So we can just allow for the eyes to close. And then just simply taking this time here to observe your connection to the ground. Feel the connection through the edges of your legs and the edges of your feet. Maybe feel the sitting bones grounding down into the mat. Allow for your spine to lengthen. Invite a gentle tuck to your tailbone to help lengthen the spine a little bit more and engage your core. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. We'll try to create a bit of space between the ears and the shoulders. Allow for your chin to be neutral. So trying not to have the chin too high up or too low. So we'll just create that nice neutral chin here. And then feel yourself reaching and stretching through the crown of the head. Give yourself time to drop into your breath and your body. So simply observe the rise and the fall of your breath. Lengthen your breath as you breathe in and lengthen your breath as you breathe out. Maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. And then as you're breathing here, maybe just gently trace your breath as it flows in and out. So we'll breathe in through the nose, feel the breath float through the throat, and then feel the breath flowing to your chest, your ribs, your stomach. And then on your exhale, releasing from your stomach, ribs, chest, throat, and nose. And then simply breathe this breath at your own pace for a moment. Set an intention for your practice today. And your intention could be anything that you would like it to be. It might be to give yourself this time to replenish, to recharge. It might be that you are experiencing a little tension or fatigue in the body and you'd like to release that. So there's really no right and wrong intention. It's just your own personal goal or desire for your class today. Let's start by drawing your chin into your chest. Lengthen the back of your neck. Allow for your gaze to float to the sky. So we're just going to take that gaze right on up. And then chin to your chest. Gently relaxing that gaze down. Gazing to the sky, gently relaxing your head back. One more time here. Let's go forward and back. Back through to neutral. Let's take our right ear to right shoulder. And neutral, left ear to the left shoulder. And then back on through to neutral. Let's go side to side here for a moment. Good. Let's take ourselves back to neutral. Gaze off the right shoulder. Back to neutral. Let's lengthen here. Gaze off the left. Back to neutral. Let's lengthen to the right. Lengthen to the left. And let's go each side one more time. So right now we're flowing through the 6 movements of the neck. And they say that these 6 movements of the neck are just wonderful for keeping the neck strong and flexible and pain-free. Let's take a minute to circle the neck here. So just smoothing out all of those muscles and also smoothing those movements all together. Maybe imagine that there's a clock in front of you and you want to run your nose through the numbers on the clock. Circle in the other direction, so we'll just reverse that movement. And then as you're flowing here, just simply noticing how the neck feels, how movement feels. Come to stillness. Let's take a breath here. Let's bring that right hand to the left leg. Maybe reach for your knee or just bring that hand for the leg. Let's take our left arm up and over, landing in a side stretch. Roll your left shoulder back, right shoulder under, and try to feel that the heart is shining up to the sky. Coming back to center, let's take that left hand to the right so that the arms are crossed. Bring your chin to your chest on your exhale, round your back. And then really imagine rounding the back like a Halloween cat. Let's keep that left hand where it is, right hand up and over. Take that full breath in. And breathe deeply here. So let's expand our lungs and expand through the ribs. Back on through to neutral. Let's take our right hand to the left. Arms are crossed, chin to chest. Exhale. And then just breathing here, full breath in and full breath out. Let's unwrap the arms. We will come back to our neutral spine. Bring your hands right up to the sky and hands at your heart on the exhale. Let's bring it forward into table. And as you come into table, maybe grab a blanket to pad your knees. So we will take our knees, our hips in one line. Feel your wrists and your shoulders in one line as well. Let's take that right knee into fire hydrant and begin to create some circles here. Maybe find large circles and maybe find smaller circles. And then as you're circling here, try to ground evenly through both of your hands. Press through your right hand, press through your left hand. Flow in the other direction. We'll just reverse that movement. Let's take the right foot to the right. We'll give it a little gorilla kick. So your foot will be lifted. You can take this time to press through the heel, the back of the knee, maybe try to lift the leg a little higher up. Foot lowers down, core engages, let's come on up. This is called gate pose Paridasana. Hands to the sky, full breath in, hands at the heart, full breath out. Let's take this one with our breath. So as we link breath and movement, allow for a moving meditation here. So you could even close your eyes and just really connect. On the inhale, hands reach and stretch up. Exhale, hands release down. As the hands relax, let's take our right hand onto our right hip, left hand up and over, side stretch. And rolling that left shoulder back, right shoulder open, heart is shining to the sky. Coming into a little bit of a windmill down to variation of side plank. So this left hand to the mat, maybe you want to bring your hand onto a block if that would feel more accessible. And then staying here, maybe lifting your leg up, maybe hand for the foot, coming into a bit of a bind here. And as you take a bind, create a sensation of kicking the foot into the hand. So create a little bit of a back bend, give yourself a quad stretch, hip flexor and psoas stretch. Let's float the foot down. Core engages as you rise on up. Hands to the top of the mat. Let's take that right foot to the left for a C curve in the spine. Walk your hands off towards the left and maybe gaze off your left shoulder. And just see if that helps you move a little bit deeper into your spinal twist. Fantastic. Let's float ourselves back on through into a tabletop and circling out the hips here. So you may find large circles, maybe find smaller circles, so whatever feels best in your body. And then as you're circling here, just feel your body gently reacting to the movements. Maybe as you shift your weight to the right, you can feel your left knee lifting from the mat slightly. Other direction, flow, reverse your movements. And come into stillness here. Let's do a little reset back onto the table. Left knee floats into fire hydrant and begin to create circles. So as you're circling here, maybe imagine that you could balance a block on your low back. So really try to create this evenness in your low back, evenness in the hands. Circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. Left foot takes that kick to the left. Let's gorilla kick here. Flex your foot. Press through the heel back of the knee. Leg can lift up higher if that's possible. Let's float ourselves on up. Hands to the sky, full breath in. Hands at the heart, full breath out. This time, circle in the other direction. So we will take our fingertips to the sky, arms out and around. Move with your breath here. So it's always really nice if we move one way to move the other direction, just so that the muscles can all be in balance and they can all align. And that will just help to incorporate more balance into all the other areas of our life and into our body. When that feels complete, let's take our left hand to left hip, right hand up, over, and then getting that nice lateral stretch for the spine. So just from your right knee to your right fingertips, creating that length. Let's float ourselves through. We can do a little windmill down. Right hand lowers, left hand rises. Keeping your foot on the mat, maybe lifting your leg up, maybe hand for the foot, take a bind, come into sugar cane, and breathing here. And release. Let's float the foot down. Core engages as you rise. Hands at the top of your mat. Left foot to the right. C curve in the spine. Walk your hands to the right. Gaze off your right shoulder. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And let's bring it back on through into table. Child's pose on exhale. Let's bring ourselves to a resting pose for a moment. So on resting pose, either knees are together to help open your low back. And you can also take your big toes to touch, maybe knees away from one another to give yourself a nice leg stretch and a nice hip stretch. Let's float ourselves into tabletop. Take a full breath here, and then with your exhale, down dog, toes curl under, sitting bones to sky, and let's check it out a little bit here. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and relax your head, yes, and relax your head, no. Let's bring our right leg to the side, three-legged dog. We are going to bend the knee, stack, and then open through the hips. Get a little hip opener here. And then circling that right knee. So maybe find large circles or smaller circles here. Flow in the other direction. We'll reverse that movement. Reset yourself up for that three-limbed dog. Right foot comes through. Let's take a runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. So if the ground is feeling far away, maybe bring your hands on blocks for support. You can also lower your left knee down onto the ground for a little support as well. And most important alignment cue here is just to make sure that your knee and your ankle are in the same line. So we just don't want our knee to be moving too far forward. Let's take a breath here. We're going to come on through to a runner's lunge. Let's spring off to the left foot, trying out warrior 3 pose. We'll try out our balanced warrior. So number one tip in balance poses is to find your drishti. Let's find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eye shift at all. Let's come back to a runner's lunge. Straighten your front leg. Let's fold it over. Let your spine relax. Try to relax the back of your head and relax through the back of your neck. Bending into your right knee. Core engages. Let's bring it through for warrior 3 pose. Find that spot to focus on. Also feel really grounded in your right foot. Press through the inside, through the outside, and notice your body's natural tendency. If you tend to roll in or tend to roll to the outside of your foot. Bring yourself back on through to runner's lunge. Let's straighten our front leg. We are going to fold it over, runner stretch. And try to relax your head here. A lot of times we think our head is relaxed, but we're holding tension. We're working a lot of muscles. Try to see if you can let your head hang heavy like a weight. Right knee bends. Let's take our right hand to sky and exhale. Take a runner's twist. As you're twisting here with your in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On your out-breath, let your twist deepen. Lowering that hand down, let's bring it through for warrior 3. Spring off your back foot. Imagine if you could see yourself from the side, trying to create a capital T shape with your body. Create this long line that flows from your right heel to right hip, and then long line from left heel to crown of the head. Let's take ourselves to warrior 1 from here. Left foot back. Left heel lowers, ground really firmly into your feet, and we'll come into Virabhadrasana Eka. Try to have a deep bend in your front knee. Feel really grounded in your back foot. Imagine pressing in through your heel, the outer edge of your foot. Give yourself a calf stretch and a hamstring stretch. Let's float those hands behind the body. We'll come to Yoga Mudra here. Fingers interlock, palms touch, full breath to lengthen. Let's take it down. Devotional warrior 1 pose. Relax the fronts of your shoulders. Just notice if that helps you move deeper into the shoulder stretch. Core engages. Let's bring it up. Warrior 1 pose. Hands to the earth. Let's take it down to a runner's lunge. Float yourself into plank. Take your right hand to the sky, side plank. We'll come into Vashisthasana. So if this is feeling challenging, lower your bottom leg down to the ground for a little less. Take your top leg to the sky for a little bit more. And if the wrists are sensitive, drop down to the forearm for dolphin side plank. Let's release it down to plank, high push-up pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Let's take an up dog here. Breathe into your low back bend. Down dog, breathe out. Last leg to the sky. Bend the knee. Stack open through the hip. Let's begin to circle that knee, finding movement in your hip joint. And then circle in the other direction. Reset yourself back to three-limbed dog. Last foot comes through. Runner's lunge. Begin to bend. Straighten your front leg. So this is going to be a really nice flow for your legs and your hips. So as we flow through this little warrior 3 sets, just kind of observe in your own body. You know, does this side of your body feel more open? Does it feel more closed? Is it more intense? Is it less intense? Straighten your front leg, and then let's bend into that left knee. We're gonna bring it through warrior 3 pose, Virabhadrasana tree. So for this one, maybe imagine like you could balance a block on your low back. So try to even off through your low back and then even off through your hips. Let's bring it through. Runner's lunge. Straighten your front leg. Let's fold it over. And then as you're folding here, if you want to deepen your stretch, maybe draw a bit more weight into your left foot. Try to lift your left hip up. Balance your hips and your low back. Left knee bends. Core engages. Let's take ourselves through warrior 3. Try to find a neutral gaze down to the ground. So we want to allow for the back of our neck to lengthen. We don't want to crank our head too much forward and back. Runner's lunge and straighten that front leg. Let's take that runner stretch. Right hip draws forward. Left hip draws back. Balance your low back. Balance your hips. Left knee bends. Let's take that left hand to the sky. Take your twist here. And then as you're twisting, maybe roll that left shoulder back. Right shoulder under. Feel that your heart is shining to the sky. Reset to runner's lunge. Let's split ourselves through warrior 3 pose. Make sure that you are not holding the breath. So really easy to hold the breath here. Let's keep the breath flowing in and keep the breath flowing out. Let's take ourselves to warrior 1 from here. Right foot back, right heel lowers, deep bend into that front knee. And we all experience each pose so differently. So just notice in your body where you feel the stretch and then breathe into it. Let's take our hands behind our body. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch, full breath to lengthen. Let's take it down, devotional warrior 1. So letting your head relax, look at the wall behind you. Maybe even try to look at the ceiling up behind your body. See if you can take that gaze even further. Core engages, warrior 1. Hands to the earth. Let's float ourselves to runner's lunge. We are going to come back on through into plank. Left hand to the sky for side plank. So take those modifications if needed. Try to feel your top hip rising to the sky with the breath. Also feel that top hip rising to the sky as well. So top hand and top hip lift up. Let's put ourselves into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll come to an up dog here. Press yourself back to down dog when you are ready. Let's bring that right leg to the sky. We'll hold our 3-limb dog here and just circle your ankle. Try to ground really firmly into your hands. Press really firmly into your left foot. And circle in the other direction. Let's find stillness here. We're going to come on through runner's lunge. Core engages, rise up to a crescent warrior. So crescent warrior is a little different from warrior one pose because our back heel will be lifted. And we want to try to feel that that back leg is really active, really engaged and energized. Coming into dancer pose from here. So we're going to spring off of our left foot. Take your left hand for your left foot. So you can grab on the outside of your foot for a gentler shoulder stretch. But if you wanted a deeper shoulder stretch, you can grab on the inside of your foot. Let's take our right hand up to the sky. Maybe index and thumb come together for a mudra. And then begin to kick the foot into the hand to come on forward into dancer. So many benefits in dancer pose. This one is great for strengthening your standing leg, strengthening all of the muscles through the foot, through the ankle, and through the knee. We get a bit of a back bend here through the 3 parts of our back. And we're going to set this one into warrior 2 from here. So let's bring our left foot back, lower the foot down, core engages, hands reach forward and back. So alignment for this one, have your front heel lining up with your back arch. And feel that your shoulders are over the hips. So we just don't want to be leaning forward or back too much. Try to relax your shoulders from your ears. Reverse, let's float it up and float it back. Back hand can glide down your back leg, maybe arm wraps around your low back and reach for the other hip crease. And core engages. Let's come on through for warrior 2. Take it down into a lateral angle. Maybe extended lateral angle, maybe lowering your hand down to the mat for a little bit more of a stretch. Top hand to the sky. Maybe arm frames your ear, palm faces down. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease. Take a half bind. Let's engage our core. We're going to float ourselves up. Warrior 2. Straighten your front leg. Let's take that front hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Breathe deeply. Try to expand your lungs and expand through the ribs. Bring yourself to neutral. Let's come into pyramid from here. So for pyramid, left foot will take a hop forward. So not all the way to the top of your yoga mat, but a little bit of a step forward. Turn your left toes up your mat. Just how that right foot points forward. Try to square your hips and your shoulders forward here. Let's bring our hands to the sky. Full breath. Exhale, fold it down. And then as you're folding here, maybe play with the weight in your feet. So you may want to draw more weight into that right foot. Maybe lifting that right hip up. Maybe encouraging your left hip to come forward a little bit. Right hip draws back slightly. Balancing your hips and balancing your low back. Let's lift that right hand on up to the sky as you exhale. We'll take a pyramid twist. With your in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On your out-breath, allow for your twist to deepen. Staying here, maybe lifting your left leg up on exhale. And then as you're breathing here, this is a revolved balancing half moon pose. You can stay here. Maybe take your hand for the foot. Come into sugar cane. Take a bit of a bind here. And then as you take this stretch, maybe create a sensation of kicking the foot into the hand to give you a little bit more of a back bend. Let's gently unwrap our pose. We'll transition to standing splits for a moment. So both of the hands down. We'll take our left leg to the sky and land in warrior 2 pose. As you take warrior 2, imagine that you could pull your feet in towards one another. So really activate your legs on this one. Windmill the hands down. Let's float ourselves into our lunge. Come on back to plank. High push up. Lower down, chaturanga, dandasana. We'll take our up dog here. Down dog, breathe out. Left leg floats to the sky, three-limbed dog. Begin to circle your ankle, find your movement here. Flow in the other direction. Stillness, bring that foot through. Core engages, let's rise on up. Crescent Warrior. Let yourself drop into your breath here. So let's try to breathe to our stomach, ribs, chest, and then releasing from your chest, ribs, and your stomach. Springing off your right foot. Let's try out that dancer pose. Right hand for right foot. Left hand comes out in front. Begin to kick the foot into the hand. Let's float ourselves forward. And as you're breathing here, just feel the breath flowing in and out. I know this one can be very easy to hold the breath. We'll inhale deeply, exhale very deeply. Let's bring ourselves into Warrior Two from here. As you align here in Warrior Two, reconnect to your intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. And just letting that intention guide you through your time on the mat today, letting that intention support you on the yoga mat today. Reverse, let's bring it up and back. Breathe here, full breath in, full breath out. Core engages, Warrior Two, down to lateral angle, extended lateral angle. And breathe here. So this one gives us that really nice hip opener, really great stretch in our shoulders. Full breath in and full breath out. Rise up, Warrior Two. Let's set up for pyramid. Right foot's gonna take that step forward, not all the way to the top of the mat. Maybe have a couple feet between the feet. Let your hips and your shoulders square forward. Have your right toes turned up the mat. Lengthen here. Let's take those hands up. Full breath in. Exhale, fold down. And then as you're breathing here, maybe just observe in your own body where you feel the stretch. So we call this one intense side stretch pose as well as pyramid. So maybe you feel the stretch through the backs of your legs, maybe in the low back, maybe through the back of the neck as you let your head relax and release. Float your left hand to the sky and exhale, twist here. And then with your twist, feel that left shoulder roll back, right shoulder under, heart is shining to the sky. Holding this one, option to lift that right leg up, coming into that revolved balancing half moon pose. So you're holding the shape of your twist, but then you just let that right leg rise up. Staying here, maybe left hand for your right foot. Coming into twisted sugar cane. And release to a standing splits pose. Both of your hands down to the mat. Bring that right leg up to the sky. Let's bring ourselves into Warrior Two from here. Front heel lines up with back arch, shoulders over the hips. Try to feel that the hips are even. Sometimes this left hip will kind of dip down. So you may have to draw the left hip up a little bit, maybe pull that right hip down slightly. Let's windmill the hands down. We're gonna float ourselves into a lunge. As you take your lunge, bring it back into plank. As you take plank, let's lower it down, chaturanga. We'll come to an up dog here. Left press back to a down dog on the exhale. Take your right leg up to the sky, three-limbed dog. Take your right knee into the nose. We're gonna take a round and a crunch. Send it up, float it back. Exhale, right, knee to nose, up and back. One more time here, knee into nose, exhale, round. Up and back. Let's take our right knee to our right wrist and we'll bring ourselves into pigeon. So as you come into pigeon, this is going to be our nice hip opener of the practice. So we're going to take our right knee to the right wrist, have your right knee in line with your right hip, or take your right knee to the right a bit more. We just don't want our knee to come into center too much. Try to feel that your hips and your shoulders square forward. You can always peek back to your left foot. You want to try to be right on the top of your foot. You don't want your foot to sickle to the right or the left too much. Take a full breath here to lengthen, and let's bring ourselves down on exhale, and we will just land here in Kapotasana. Maybe close your eyes. And anytime we work with our hips, we want to be very mindful of our knees. So we just don't want to feel any pain or stretching in our knees. If that happens, that's our body's way of letting us know to come out of that stretch. It's just not the right stretch for us today, maybe a different day. So we just don't want to feel pulling, stretching in the knees, but it's very common to feel, stretching and a lot of sensation in your hips, in your legs, in your low back, because this is a really, really good stretch for your body. Let's begin to release. We are going to reset ourselves back on through to that down dog. As you exhale, left toes will curl under, and take your right foot to meet your left foot. Let's bring our left leg to the sky. Take your knee into your nose on your exhale. Let's take a round and a crunch. Send it up and back. Exhale, round. Up and back. Let's go one more time, knee to nose. Fantastic. Now let's take our knee to our wrist. So left knee to your left wrist. Scoot your left knee to the left if needed. And try to feel even here. You don't want to lean off to the left too much. You don't want to dump your weight off to the left. So hips and shoulders square forward. Take a full breath here to lengthen. Let yourself come down on exhale. And close your eyes if you'd like. And maybe in this moment, give yourself time to connect with your body. So that's one of the most beautiful gifts that yoga gives us, is our connection to our body, our awareness of our body. And it's really fascinating because as we practice yoga and we strengthen our connection to our body, we can really begin to hear our body when it tries to communicate with us off of the mat. When something is starting to bother us, we become aware of it sooner. We have these little aches and pains. Maybe we're a little bit gentler with ourselves versus if we're not connected, we just kind of push through things, and sometimes that can lead to injury. So maybe in this moment, just connect with your body and notice where you feel the stretching. Maybe it feels very intense. Maybe it feels not so intense. Maybe this pose is very challenging. Maybe it feels very easy. So just simply notice yourself in the moment. Give yourself that time just to be present, to be mindful. Let's begin to release from here. So to come out on this side, let's roll onto our left hip and we will sweep our right foot forward, and we are going to bring ourselves down onto our backs and then reach for your feet. Let's bring ourselves into a happy baby stretch. You can flex your feet and reach through the heels, maybe rock to the right and maybe rock to the left. Let's take our feet down onto the yoga mat. We are going to try out Supta Baddha Konasana. So for this one, bring the soles of your feet to touch. Take your knees away from one another. If this is too much of a hip stretch, you can always support your knees with some blocks. Maybe bring your hands on your body and close your eyes. Give yourself a moment to breathe here. Knees can come together. With the help of the hands, we'll sweep our knees in, knees to the chest. Let's take a rock to the right and the left. We'll just do a little gentle release of the muscles on the low back, down into the back. Take your rocking movement into circles. So maybe find large circles here, maybe find smaller circles here. And circle in the other direction. We'll reverse that movement. Let's release. We will take some time to relax. We will come into Shavasana, our resting pose of our practice. So you can relax your arms, maybe relax your legs. If your low back is a little sensitive, you may want to plant your feet, have your knees bent, maybe drop your knees in towards one another and have your feet at the edges of your yoga mat. Simply closing your eyes. Give yourself this opportunity to integrate all of the benefits of your yoga practice into your mind, body, and spirit. Let your breath deepen. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring yourself to your side. Come into a fetal position for a moment. Maybe create a pillow with your lower arm. Gently support your head. Feel your body take the shape of the pose. Come on up. We're going to land in seated. And as you take seated, hands can come into the heart space in prayer. Thank yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. It's wonderful to be here with you, practice yoga together. Have a wonderful day today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.